The Club and Cup is about to get underway. Week 160 of the Challenge Series, or 16 of the season. And we start things off in Croatia with Dragon Trail. Starting off in Europe, which we don't actually do very often these days. It seems to usually start in America or Japan. No. We started Dragon Trail, and, well, I would say as with the big events, but actually it's more in common I'm alone at this point in the commentary box, but...
That's right. I'm here for the fun.
Yeah, somebody let this guy in here again. I guess it makes a little more sense this time. Neither of us made it to this championship. Thrasher is actually the only admin who did. So...
I got snacks.
Do they smile back?
No.
Well, technical difficulties then. And the Club and Cup is green from Dragon Trail. I think I have the audio mix a little bit off, but it's in the right direction. It just means the cars are going to be quieter, not us. Barbara Page, as is tradition, is the POV driver. She starts last because she got 4th in the final qualifier of last week. I already think I saw Silica kind of get bumped out of the way by Thrasher at the apex there.
That's interesting.
Might have been a miscommunication or something of the sort. Although I don't know.
I don't think there's any beef between them. Why would Thrasher beef with a 17-year-old girl?
Don't know. That is very... I was going to say, oh, well, yeah, no, it's very close record. It's left one. Between 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Maki is making off with the lead. She started 3rd, got ahead of Yo and Rise off the green flag. And Thrasher's going to get out. No, he's going to send it down the inside of glass at the hairpin. Barbara, meanwhile, is going to also get ahead of Mika Harris at that hairpin. Maybe. Yes, couldn't tell from depth perception there. Remember, Silica started on pole in this race, and she's already down to 9th. And the lap's not done yet either. Chica might even have a bit of a run on her, and Whitney Velvet certainly does. Charger ahead of the Impreza, and yeah, that's going to put Silica in 10th. If she could get the cutback on her, that might be out of the top 10 in one lap. Or she actually has damage. I don't actually know where that came from. Was that the shooting guy? Okay, so then...
2 does equal 4.
Okay, so Thrasher did hit Silica, but not where or how I thought he did. I thought he hit her at the apex, not in the braking zone. And it didn't even damage his Mustang either.
High notes.
6.0. Yeah, I think I remember Barbara mentioning she hit that curb a lot. Barbara already into the top 5 at the end of just a single lap. And looking for a podium position already. I did say at the end of last week's commentary, she's probably one of the favorites to win the whole cup, simply by being here.
Yeah, that car. Oh, right up. Oh.
The honk of disapproval from Barbara as... Yeah, Ryza hits the same curb, and that doesn't do that to every car, but it does that more often than it needs to, and creates some interesting moments on the track. Feels like everybody's got a different way of attacking that S section, especially Thrasher, whose handling parameters are completely different from everyone else's in the Group 4 kit. Could peek the long way around, but Ryza's simply not having it. Barbara up to the back of the Evo of Yo. They're both conservative there, but Barbara was less so and will grab an easy spot on exit. And now it's only her versus Maki for the race win. Assuming she gets there. Not of that big of a lead though, it's only, call that 3 seconds? Not even that, that's like 2. And the first fastest lap of the race shows that, yeah, that Barbara has a dizzying amount of pace early on here.
Yeah, that car in this category has always been super dominant.
And this isn't even her best car. Her Stingray in 675 is even more dominant than this thing. This isn't even the best 640 class car, I don't think. But her C3 in 675 definitely is. That's not going to stop her from just embarrassing Maki on exit right there.
Ooh.
That
She tried
was...
to fight.
Yeah, but Barbara was just crazy on the brakes there and still got it stopped.
If Gavin, then none.
Battle of Mustangs, Mika Harris trying to make her way up the field. Started in the mid-pack because she didn't win a race, but looks like she, if nobody else besides Barbara does, she might be the second quickest car on the track right now. She's in pursuit of the 128 machine up there. It's a pretty evenly spaced out for most of the drivers. We have kind of a breakaway in the top 10, the top half of the field. Basically cars that got damaged are back here, and then the ones that didn't are the top 10. That's not really the way I had in mind to say that. We are 3 wide.
Alright. Ooh.
That was weird.
We had a 4-car battle for third.
Mika's gonna, looks like she's gonna win it. She's gonna out-drag the Evo and out-break everyone still. Thrasher is barely clinging on to 5th as Ryza attempts to ambush him at the chicane. Didn't even know she was that close, but I guess she is. Oh, that's a bad curb hit for Thrasher. He didn't bounce, he just stopped turning.
This is not the rally style.
No. In spite of that, though, he didn't actually lose any places for it. Yet. Let's see if Ryza might change that. Still a lap and a half to go in the race, and Yo is being a little obstructive to Thrasher, I would say, at this point. Not much more than that. He just can't find a way to get his car alongside in a way that matters. But now we're gonna see that, and Yo is just gonna lay over for both of them there. That is survival, is what Yo just did.
Yeah, that...
She knows Thrasher's gonna have the better brakes, and she knows Ryza is gonna be the bigger maniac. Effectively. Mika overtook Maki. Not confusing names at all. Didn't actually catch when that happened. But it seems like Thrasher might be the next to do that. And Barbara did not get very far away. Either Mika Harris is... Oh, she actually is that fast. Fuck.
Oh, this is gonna be a fight off the final lap.
43.5? That's a 675 class speed. What the fuck is in that Mustang?
Man, it's like the 60s all over again. Mustang versus Corvette.
Can we just have this Ferrari here because reasons? I think it's mid-70s, so that's almost era appropriate. Almost.
And then you have
2015, 2001, and 2015 behind that. Thrasher's still clawing his way around the outside of Maki, maybe. He has the downforce to do this. Ooh, boy, that's close.
God, that's so weird to say Mustang and downforce.
I mean, they're making like GT3 cars and stuff now, so it's not that weird to me.
Yeah. Well, this is a 11-year-old Mustang.
Yeah, this isn't the generation that had official GT3s or 4s. These are just Group 4 and 3 kits that Thrasher's team uses. Thrasher uses the Group 4 kit. Thomas, maybe that's what he would have gone by like 45 years ago. Thomas O'Reilly uses the Group 3 kit.
Oh, but it's going to be a fight. Who's got better brakes into the final corner? Crossover?
Nope, Maki parked the bus. She's gonna hang on to the podium, it looks like.
Drag race, drag race, drag race.
I don't think it is one. Barbara's gonna win. Mika hangs on to or grabs second. Maki will win that drag race, if you could even call it that, for third. Mika had all the speed in the world, but it stalled out the second she got in the Corvette's wake. Either that, or, well, Barbara did run her fastest lap of the race, so I guess she just had the pace managed as much as she needed to. And that is we'll call that another day in the office for race 1. Not boring, but, well, you know, I mean, I guess not every race is gonna be chaos. Like the fucking Tsukuba race, remember that one. Race 2 of the Clubman Cup takes us to the ever-familiar Deep Forest. If it seems like we were just here, you'd be correct. But, you know, I mean, it's like, this is, you know, one of the hallmark tracks of the Challenge Series. It's on the way, so to speak, so it seems only right. Plus, this is... Well, you could take any class to Deep Forest. I think it's best suited to the middle categories, 640 and 675. Ignore the fact that we did just race the endurance race here in 715. That's not relevant.
I do like to run out the final hairpin in like the 750 ARC cars, just especially at night when they're absolutely hauling the mail, glued to the track, sparking everywhere.
Yeah, though that run can be a little treacherous for poorly tuned road cars, though I don't think we'll be running into that issue in this race, since I don't think you get into the Clubman Cup with a poorly tuned car. And Deep Forest is green. Actually, there are a few four-wheel drive cars, but they don't seem to get as big of an advantage as you'd think. They are 3 abreast at P1. I thought it was 4, trust me.
I thought it was 5.
I think it was 3 by 3, and the back row was more spread out. Now they're 2 by 2. Looks like a starting grid, like we're going to do a rolling start. But absolute toss-up in the first sector. It looks like Wanda Glass is going to get away with the lead.
You know, marching 2 by 2.
No. As a reminder, you know, Wanda Glass having just won the Deep Forest 44 not last week, 2 weeks ago. So she must know the place, but she's got Isabel right on her tail. And that's going to be easy. More horsepower in the Mustang. This is just the 69 Mustang is just the car to bring to this category, I guess. We had Mika Harris with absolutely stupid pace at Dragon Trail, and now Deep Forest. Isabel has taken the lead. I don't remember where she started on the grid, but I don't think it was the top 5. Well, okay, it was 3rd, but let's see. Sabatari, I think, was no, he was on the 2nd round next to Isabel. I don't remember the starting grid. I'm very good at this.
It might have been Wanda on pole.
Yeah, like I just looked back in the replay to see it. I only paid attention to where Isabel was. I didn't pay attention to anything else for some reason.
Oh well, it doesn't matter where you start, only where you finish.
Yeah, but it's usually a decent, like, kind of benchmark. Like, you know, the kind of race you had is either, if you started at the front, how far ahead did you get? And if you started at the back, how far up the field did you move? And the POV driver, Riza, this time, is very much on the move. She's in the top 5, a lap and a half through the race. This is a track Team AMT have run extensively. Not as much as their own test track, which is Spa. But this is probably the one they run the second most. Believe it or not, there are no teams based in Deep Forest in the Challenger Series. But it's just that kind of track that most teams have gone to test at least once because of how often we run it.
And it's also just, this track is perfect for showing off every single aspect of the car. We got high technical corners, we also have high speed sections, and if you really want to test your suspension, the final set of corners out of the final hairpin.
Both Maki and Sawatari managed to pretty much synchronize fuck up the hairpin. And Rise is going to go around the long way on Wanda Glass, so I guess she had early momentum, but it's stalling out now, and she's just trying to mitigate damage. While O'Reilly and Stout are going to try and go after Isabel, who already has a strong lead, as Maki will just follow the others through ahead of the 9 car. You call that a 4-second lead to the credit of Mustang. O'Reilly is giving chase. Other than that, there isn't really a breakaway or anything. It is just a very long train from 2nd all the way back to 15th place. Ruby's not really pushing the car at all, and I think the 4 back here got lap 1 damage.
Oh god, the sports driver getting damage here lap 1. I am afraid it ain't what I think it is.
Well, the only AMT driver is Ryza in this championship, and they have not been anywhere near each other, so...
Yeah, and also Dose is one of the Demon Sport drivers that have cooler heads.
Speaking of cooler, I was a bit of argy-bargy between Stout and O'Reilly there. That does actually suit both of their driving styles, so I'm not surprised. Both these drivers are not afraid to scrape some paint off, as it were, but they're not quite, offensively aggressive in the way that some drivers are. Although Ryza does have her moments. I think the lead is shrinking. Not as quickly as I thought it'd be, to be honest. Isabel taps the brakes for that. Ryza does not concern herself with such. That'll gain her some time. We skip ahead about 45 seconds. Well, 40. And Ryza has made one hell of a middle sector, and now she is putting pressure on that 29 car up there. O'Reilly not too far away, neither is Nishikino.
But the driver 5th is also not too far behind either.
Yeah, that Barbara is still relevant, and then she's the last one who's really in the hunt. It's a 5-car breakaway. Wanda Glass is kind of holding up traffic for 6th. And Ryza takes a look on the outside. Isabel defends the hairpin, and that was the smart choice, I reckon. Maki gets ahead at the exit of the hairpin, though, catching O'Reilly asleep on the accelerators.
Oh,
Or not. Okay, Maki was sleeping on the brake pedal, I guess. Bumped her to the back of the 66, didn't even get her the spot or anything, because O'Reilly proceeded to park the bus, and then on the run up to the hairpin, I wonder if contact was made again or not. You know, it was a late choice to even make the move, and not really an overtaking maneuver I would approve of. We were talking about Thomas and Ryza trading paint, but I wasn't aware Maki was also in that camp. I guess that's the history between Black Stallion and Mercury the last few weeks, ever since I returned to the track, as Ryza just dusts Isabel. Oh, never mind. She didn't like being embarrassed on the exit of the final turn, and embarrasses Ryza on the braking for the first one. Yeah, we keep telling each other, we're all squared up here between Mercury and Black Stallion, but It seems like every week there's something else that happens anyway, you know? Ellie took Thrasher out of Laguna Seca, payback for other shit. And then Axel took out Nico the literal next time we went to Laguna Seca. And... Axel didn't really apologize. It was more like he was made an example of as he got accosted by his entire team. So they didn't approve, and you know, and then we're like, okay, well then we're not gonna do it, and then that happens anyway. So it's just like one step forward and another step back. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Another late dive attempt from Isabel. Now these two are going to be trading paint. I'm too busy yapping about a beef between two teams that neither of these drivers are even on. I should probably focus on the task at hand. Oh, they trade paint again. Dead heat over the line. Isabel would have won if that was the last lap. And a late move under braking, or right before the braking, which Ryza didn't seem to like. Might flag in the air. If you've seen a crossover here, where the fuck? Isabel's gonna kick up some dirt, trying to keep the Mustang on the tarmac. Somehow she stays in P1. Bumper to the back of the 29. Barging the Mustang out of the way. I don't know if that's beef or that's just short track racing here at Deep Forest, for lack of better terms. Aspinall keeps the nose there, sends it at the hairpin. One straightaway. A straightaway, a hairpin, and another straightaway. The Mustang has the power advantage, albeit narrowly. But the Z8 is a little lighter.
Alright, let's see here. Who's got the bigger balls into the hairpin?
Looks like it'll be Isabel, unless Ryza pulls the crossover attack of the decade, but you couldn't keep the momentum going.
Okay, now this Ryza tries to slipstream her way past to the line. Here we go. It's gonna be one of those classic photo finishes. Here we go. Side by side at the line.
Isabel by about half a Mustang is gonna out-drag the Z8. Ryza had to cut the throttle too much to avoid further contact. She could make contact at the long right-hander, but making it there at that speed is gonna send both of them into the wall and Mika Harris to victory lane instead. So Ryza chose. Yeah. Either way, a 69 Mustang boss wins. Mustang. Riker, what are words? Are we gonna do those today? Maybe. You got a lot more commentating left to do, you idiot. Yeah, Mika Harris will finish second and third in consecutive races, while Barbara finishes first and fourth. So I believe that means that, logically speaking, they're tied coming out of the second race, and we'll get confirmation on that when my tablet decides to get with the program. Yes, they are indeed tied at 37. Ryza at 35, Isabel at 33, and Thrasher at 31. He didn't have the best run here, but that's just the I would say those are like kind of the 5 drivers who've yet to really make a big mistake. Thrasher started way low on the grid in this race, and that much I do remember. So that, you know, he gets to 7th from outside the top 10 on the grid. It helps that Thomas got slapped by Maki. I mean, it doesn't help his team, but it helps his points anyway. So, and there's no constructors here. That's the thing for the later rounds. On to race 3, however. Watkins Glen. I think it's the singular track that was both a qualifier track and a championship round. So we're back here. It is more than a little foggy at the start of the race. I think the forecast said it would clear up by the around the 4th or 5th lap, but I mean, we're not the Daytona 24. We don't red flag for fog. Then again, we've never had fog bad enough to even make us think about it, so I don't know.
We got to get that vortex theory cooking.
I don't think we have enough cars or speed for that. Not at Watkins Glen. We are away from Watkins Glen. I just spit everywhere by accident. Yeah, I'm gonna see what happens when the front-wheel drive car starts in last. The singular one that made it to the championship. Silica goes absolutely nowhere off the grid. Koki Sawatari is the POV driver here at Watkins Glen, a little ways away from home, I would say, since I think he kind of takes residence in France. You know, French car and all that. He'd be usually at home in a Japanese track or at some like Alsace or Le Mans, but not here. Despite that, he's 3 wide with Vincent Houston and Barbara Page anyway, so. Which then became 3 wide with Maki and Mika, so he's just going through the motions, stuck in the mid-pack here. Meanwhile, Isabel was on the front row, so she's in a prime position to win back-to-back races here in the Clubman Cup, and really just guarantee a points lead going into the second half. And Yo, I think Yo also, I mean, it helps that she's four-wheel drive, but also just started high again as well. The starting grid gods are, they're reusing some tropes here, it seems. Ruby also started high on the grid, but that 8.6 is just very underpowered. She, I think, literally all but drove the wheels off of that thing to get it into this race, or into this championship at Fuji of all places, and I think she used every ounce of speed in her body. No, not that kind of speed, Muggins. Just to even get it there into 4th. She tries to fight Ghost 2.0 at the final turn and gets nowhere.
So I chuckle at the starting high, and that doesn't get a reaction, but I don't even think about the speed jump like that, and I get ostracized.
Well, because I noticed the chuckle, and I was just like, okay, so he's in that mood, I'm gonna cut you off right there. Also, I think they were 4 wide just there. Okay, no, they weren't, but it was very close.
Essentially.
They weren't, there was no overlap, but you certainly couldn't move over if you're any of those 4 drivers. And Sabatari had to just kind of sit behind all of that and wait. Now he's going to get ahead of Ruby, who's, yeah, her goose is cooked. We'll say that much. She does not have the speed to keep up with a track like this. Blows the doors off Thrasher and Glass at once. The Alpine is able to maintain a lot of momentum up the S's with its weight distribution. Ghost 2.0 eyeing the 350Z of Joshua Riggs, who has not been much of a factor thus far, but decent starting grid block for the first time this championship means he's finally able to actually play at the big table. Outbreak the Roadster, probably not very difficult to do.
Now we got a battle between 617 and the 417, hunting down
the 106 and the 226. They were almost 3 wide, so Atari backs out of that as Riggs. I guess you can't really say doors Ghost 2.0 because you can't hit her door, you just hit her wheels, which should be worse, but it just doesn't do anything. The background Thrasher is struggling to... the different lines he takes to make the most out of the grip he has in that car kind of make it difficult to pass at some tracks and easy at others. I saw a tire flashing with lights there. Fuck. If he was trying to signal to get out of the way, I don't think that quite works. Now there's that speed retention, the weight distribution means you can just chuck it up the S's. Yo had to lift off a ton there, and Sabatari just simply didn't. Now, one car between him and the race lead, despite being in unfamiliar territory. And you can just see, yeah, the cornering grip difference is very plain to see in this sector of the track. Try around the outside. I think you might be overestimating his grip, though. No, he's kept the car on alongside. Down the inside. No, Isabel's gonna outbrake that. That will that will finish that attempt up.
Nice.
The Nissans are falling down the order. Yo is trying to hang on to where she is, but Dos Bueno is gonna stick her front tires there, I guess? Normal racing terminology. Yeah, normal racing terminology doesn't work with this vehicle. You can't say, oh yeah, you door checked her. You don't hit the door. Ah, got her nose in there. There's no fenders. Like, what the fuck do I call it? Sabatari is sizing up his target. Trying to maybe spot weaknesses. He's an unfamiliar, an unknown quantity when it comes to his style in terms of how he drives. There are some out there that like to wait and see. Dos Bueno is done waiting and or seeing. That should be third place for the Roadster. We might see another battle between the 417 and 617 yet. Especially if Isabel keeps him behind for a little longer, and she will probably do that with the straight line advantage here. Or not! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ooh.
Watch out, watch out.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that's total the A110. Oh my god. There's chaos.
Parking lot on the back stretch.
Parking lot? This is a car crusher, Logan. Look at that.
The track is blocked.
So suffice to say, this is a red flag. We've gone past halfway, so
the race is over.
With that maneuver, I'm getting unpleasant flashbacks. Isabel is going to win the race. Yo will be second. As for the multitude of vehicles that are massively fucking damaged, yeah, that Alpine's not going anywhere. That 180 is gonna need a miracle. That GT350 is gonna need a miracle. The 350 maybe less dire because parts for that are dime a dozen, but that's not gonna be an easy fix either.
And I can sadly confirm the Roadster, it'd be cheaper just to replace it with a new
Oh, I
car
didn't see
tire.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, vehicles from 1932 are not exactly disposable, I bet.
We got that back to the shop, and as soon as we tried putting it on jack stands, 3 of the 4 wheels just fell off, and there was oil leaking from places oil should not be.
Yeah, I know your team's got some crazy mechanical stuff, but I think that's necromancy by that point.
Yeah, Emmy looked at that thing, and after we calmed her down, was like, yeah, no, this thing's done. So after this, we're going car shopping.
You might not be the only one. I also, as we'll just get another look at the crash here from, we'll try other angles. Yeah, Isabel just, yeah, I've been there, Sawatari. Gets hit by four different cars in this crash. And if I remember right, the caution was made official at about 6:45.
That late?
Well, okay, the caution was out at like 6:33 in race time, but the results were frozen at that point. It was just like, I don't know. I think it was just kind of like a bit of panic that happened because like this is the biggest crash we've seen in a while. Even my own goddamn near identical crash. Yeah, so we took the results from right here and stopped the race at 6:31, if I remember right. Just because there's a lot of wrecked cars that come from this and a lot of drivers that made up a lot of spots because of it.
Right.
I remember one that benefited a lot if we had taken the finishing results from when the red flag was thrown at 6:46. Barbara avoids everything and ends up in third by that point. Rain is fifth at this moment, but ends up in 12th because her car is like backwards or something. Same with Dos.0.
Yeah. So, in the Roadster's final race, they get to podium.
On the count back, yeah. Yeah, nothing looks really amiss right here if you just pause it like this. Yeah, everyone can always say, oh, you could have slowed down in time. Human reaction is not perfect. So there are some pretty quick people here, but there are also some that aren't. But I don't think I needed to tell you. Yeah, no, Dos.0 had no way to react to what was going on. She did the best she could. I think anybody would assume that thing is going to keep going left. And it did, but just not enough.
You know, looking on the crash, it kind of reminds me of some of those old NASCAR crashes off the carousel. Where just somebody hits the guardrail, shoots across the track, and there is nothing you can do.
Or that big crash out of turn 1, like 2010 or so, that I think it was Runeman and Reagan got wrecked from that.
Oh, yeah. Or also the one in...
Oh my fucking god. The view that Dos.0 gets of the second impact is fucking mortifying. Yeah. I'm not really sure about that rejoin. I don't think her head was screwed on right anymore after that, but I have avoided all of that. That's an expensive repair bill avoided right there. But yeah, so the total damage count up of this race is at least for cars that are not making it to race 4, Joshua Riggs, Vincent Houston, and Dos.0 bow out of the championship. But they still got it lucky because this motherfucker right here shouldn't have even been alive. If we didn't have Glenn Watkins somewhere in the infield this is kind of close to a runoff area that they could get to. I don't know where the nearest exit is. Probably somewhere in the runoff of the bus stop. And also, literally 2 medical professionals on the racetrack in the back and able to, stop the car and respond to this. We would have our first Challenge Series fatality. Instead, he only is paralyzed from the neck down. What a pleasant thought that we were that close to a fatality. I shouldn't even be laughing, but also from what I've heard, maybe I should be. I didn't want to cast judgment because I hadn't witnessed it myself, but if I have 4 different people complaining to me about the, quote, sex pestering this guy did pre-race, maybe this was a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, there's a giant squirrel in those trees.
Really, all I see is a Toyota AE86. And probably a bumper or two that would have probably come flying off this car if it were in real life. Like I said, I don't think there would be much of a car left if this were real life. Metagaming for a moment, but yeah, I mean it's pretty clear. Like that's the thing that was pointed out to me was the point of impact right there. I genuinely think Rain getting on the brakes, even as late as she did do it, is also probably the only reason that this Yahoo doesn't die, because that is right at the driver. A110s are apparently left side drive. And you can just see, like, that is, especially with the kind of angular design of the 180s front fenders, that's goddamn near impalement.
That's Ryan Newman 2020-esque.
And instead, as you can see, it's like it's going to go straight through his leg. It's going to wipe out the steering column and everything. So, yeah, Rain was, we'll say, like a couple of inches off of having a body count. So, yeah, we actually took a day off after this. We actually didn't continue racing until Friday, and the next race bled into Saturday morning because everyone was a little shaken after one near fatality and a couple of other drivers that had their fucking bells rung. I know Rain plays
people time to repair.
Yeah, because while some cars are out, there are plenty of others that got damage. Velvet's Charger took a hit. Thomas O'Reilly's car got hit. I think that's actually it for like superficial damage, and obviously the elephant in the room is Rain, but because of the whole, playing in VR concept, the 180 is fine.
Yeah.
I always comment about Demon Sports. The rules don't apply to them. The rules don't apply to this team either. Just to a different extent. But even in VR, if there's any kind of force feedback system or anything in that, I think even Rain probably got a little dizzy in that car. I'm gonna get one last view of the crash basically from her point of view. She only did 2 spins, but still, those are big hits. And also, maybe it's me, it feels like, did she aim that? She aimed that, didn't she? She could have gone left, and she stopped turning left. She also could have slowed down, because she saw the crash way ahead of time, even before I fucking noticed what was going on from her own point of view, but... if she's letting off here, the crash has barely begun. Dos Bueno hasn't even hit the Alpine yet, and Rain is already slowing down. Yo's not even slowing down yet. She taps the brakes and gasses it again. I guess maybe she thought the Alpine would stop? I'm not sure. But no, both those cars have way too much momentum. And it takes her a minute before she gets on the brakes again. Fucking weird, but yeah. So we basically take it from around here. The races. I know there is still a points battle. It kind of gets overshadowed by everything that just happened here, but when my tablet wants to get with the program again here. Isabel naturally extends her points lead, coming off of that. Now she's 3 up on Barbara and 7 up on Riza. And 11 over Mika Harris. But yeah, we will head to race 4 2 days later with 4 fewer vehicles taking the starting grid. Ay caramba.